सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। We are towards the end of the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We saw in the 5th chapter from Shlokas 24 through 26, Bhagavan is enumerating the fruits of the yoga of knowledge. This chapter is based upon Jnana Karma Sannyas Yoga. With knowledge, the renunciation of action. And knowledge was talked about as that which allows us to remain in this moment without getting drifted either into the past or into the future. Staying with awareness is what Bhagavan said knowledge is. While Pashyan, Shrunvan, Sprushan, Jigran, all this is what Bhagavan says, that all this is happening in the presence of awareness, while eating, while sleeping, while hearing, while smelling, while tasting. It is nothing but pure awareness alone is what exists, and that is what Bhagavan mentions very beautifully in this chapter, that is what indriyartheshu vartanta iti dharayan. It is Bhagavan who upholds this entire gamut of experience. What we call the human experience is impossible. In fact, it does not exist without the presence of awareness consciousness. Now, when we yoke on to this awareness consciousness, what happens? What are the benefits of acquiring this knowledge? So Bhagavan says, Yonta sukhontararama tatha antara jyotirevacha yaha. So yogi brahma nirvanam brahma bhuto digachati. Such a person who dwells in this pure awareness in the moment, such a person is not just a human being. Bhagavan says such a person is Brahma Bhuta Adhigachati. Such a person is not a human being, but Brahma Bhuta, the one who is none other than Brahman itself, absolute Brahman, having become Adhigachati. That person remains in this realm of pure awareness. And what does it deliver? Yaha antasukhaha. The person is happy from within. Antasukha, anta rama, antara ramaha. The person who enjoys their own presence, they enjoy their own being. Such a person, antarjyotirevacha, the light of awareness which is within is all that they experience, and that is enough to give them joy and happiness. They don't seek anything. And saha yogi brahma nirvanam, such a person attains absolute nirvanam, attains absolute freedom, absolute moksha. Such a person is completely liberated. That is one thing mentioned in Shloka 24, which we saw. Same thing, different ways it is said. Labante brahma nirvanam rushya kshina kalmashaha Chinnadvaida yatatmanaha sarvabhuta hiterataha. We also saw this, that a person over here, labante brahma nirvanam rushayah kshina kalmashaha. Those people whose impurities have been wiped out. What are the impurities? Impurities are the impurities of the mind and the intellect, which does not allow us to dwell in the divinity that we are. That this mind of ours, it escapes into various fields of objects and emotions and ideas and thoughts and feelings. It is as though our mind gets hijacked on the inside by emotions and feelings and thoughts, and on the outside it gets hijacked by objects, by people, by situation. So we are continuously being pulled and pushed by the outside world of objects and the inside world of emotions and thoughts. And such is a human being dancing by various objects within and without. And this is how we dissipate our energy. We are taken for a ride by the objective universe on the outside and the subjective world of thoughts and emotions, and we have as though no independence. We are controlled, we are pushed, we are bound, we are tied by the shackles and chains of the objective universe outside and the subjective universe of ideas and thoughts. And we find ourselves being slaves to them. So when it is said kshina kalmashaha, when impurities are eradicated, the impurities meaning none other than the weakness of mind, which makes it yo-yo between outside and the inside world. That is taken away and the mind becomes calm. Mind becomes calm. And such people are called Brahma Nirvanam Rushayaha. These people become freed from any type of bondage. Chinnadvaida, those people whose dualities are torn, are destroyed. Which duality? The duality of the objective world and the duality of the subjective thoughts and ideas. How much we are persecuted by our own emotions, how much we are persecuted by our own thoughts, worries. It's very easy to say give up worries, but the person who has worries, how do you give up worries? The only way we can give up worries is through knowledge and understanding. That's all. And over here, freedom from all types of worries, anxieties, sorrows, pain, such is called Chinnadvaita. All dualities destroyed. Yatatmanaha. Yata atmanaha. Atmanaha, this over here refers to the mind. Yata, conquered. They have conquered the kingdom of mind. Conquered the kingdom of mind and the intellect. Sarva bhuta hite rataha. That myopic mind and intellect doesn't just think about I, me, mine, I, me, my family, my wealth, my ideas, my home. It goes on and on and on. The person whose dualities are destroyed, such a person thinks in a large manner. There is an expansion of the mind and the intellect, and that is called Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. They delight in the well-being of all beings. Thus, our Upanishadic prayers rise from this state of being in the absolute. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. Sarve santu niramayaha. May all be happy. May all be healthy. May none suffer. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhave. May nobody suffer. See, these are the laudable prayers of men of abidance in truth, known as by Bhagavan over here, Rishayaha, great rishis. These are the qualities of the knowers of truth. Continuing, we left off at shloka number 25. Now we continue today from 26. Kama krodha viyuktanam yatinam yatachetasam abhito brahma nirvanam vartate viditatmanam. So, kama krodha vyuktanam. These people have conquered kamana, meaning desire. And wherever desire is, if desire is not fulfilled, it will become anger. That's all. So actually, anger is nothing but a shadow of a desire. That's what anger is. Anger is always a shadow of a desire. Unfulfilled desire is what anger is. So Bhagavan says, Kama Krodha Viyuktanam, those people whose inner world of mind and intellect is devoid of all types of desires, is devoid of all types of anger. If desire is conquered, everything else is conquered actually. So those people whose minds have become silent, calm mind, no desire. Then someone may say, if there is no desire, then how do these people function? They allow the universal desires to flow through them. They become a channel for the universe to express itself through them. This is how noble men of learning become. They themselves have no desire, but whatever the universe wants them to do, they do. Then someone may ask, how do they know that this is what universe wants them to do? First, we have to become a rishi to realize that. Only the one whose mind has become silent understands the language of creation. And to them, in precise language, they get the message that this is what they should do. And they are delivered along with that message all powers and blessings to accomplish it. For their life is only for the welfare of the world, welfare of the universe. They cannot harm anyone. They cannot injure anything in this universe. They become the messengers of the highest message of knowledge, wisdom, peace, joy, happiness. All that is what they are here to deliver. So they are called yatinam, of the best among the self-controlled sages. Yata chetasam, chetasam, the mind, yata, conquered, those who have conquered the mind, those whose mind and intellect have become absolutely still. Because of that, no desires are there. Such people, abhitaha, from all directions, in all ways, in all conditions, from all sides, Brahma Nirvanam, they have absolute freedom. They have absolute freedom while they are living. They enjoy absolute freedom, even though the soul trapped in the cage of the body, mind, and the intellect prism. They are not limited by the boundaries of body, mind, and intellect. They are far beyond it. They have identified with their absolute nature of Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Anandam. Existence, consciousness, infinitude, bliss is what they have identified with and realized. So the limited equipment cannot do anything to such people. That is why abhitaha, from both sides, the lower world of manifested creation and the higher world of unmanifest creation, they are freed from that too. That means they have no future births, and this birth also doesn't create any bondage. That's why abhitaha, from both sides, the present birth and the future birth, they have been completely delivered from. They do not belong to any of that. In fact, they have attained Brahma Nirvana, absolute freedom, vartate, while existing, viditatmanam, in knowing the truth. Vidita atmanam, having known this absolute self, knowing the truth, they are freed from the shackles and the bondages of this birth, and they are freed from the shackles and the bondages of the accumulated karmic debt of the future births that is wiped out. Why? Because no desires. The mind and the intellect entertains no desires. They have reached absolute fulfillment. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. when one realizes the self, all desires of all jivas of all times is enjoyed in that one moment. This is what is said in Yoga Vasishtha. Vasishtha Maharshi ji teaches to Lord Rama. So, this is known as Jivan Mukti. They are liberated while they are alive. Continuing, Sparshan krutva bahir bahyan chakshuschaivantare bhruvoho pranapano samo krutva nasabhyantaracharino. Now, there is a slight shift from the subject matter of 3 chapters, chapter 3, 4, and 5. Now, Karma Yoga is coming to an end. The fruits of Karma Yoga is the equipment becomes calm. The equipment is rendered fit for the journey of self-realization is the fruit of Karma Yoga. Very simple. What is Karma Yoga? Whatever comes in this world, whatever comes from this world, may I accept it as prasad buddhi. It is prasad of Bhagavan. It may be a grave disease. It may be a difficult child. Bhagavan has given this child this disease, these hardships for my well-being. And he knows that I can handle it and I'm the fit person for it. Thus, he has given it. So in Ishwar Prasad Buddhi, there is no complaints. This is the first point of Karma Yoga. Second point of Karma Yoga. Now that Ishwar has given me, let me offer myself back to Ishvara. Whatever I do, it will be an offering to Bhagavan. Point number 2 is Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. That is second point of Karma Yoga. In very simple language, I'm summarizing chapters 3, 4, and 5. The third point of Karma Yoga. I do have desires. And I know that all these desires are not good for me. So the third point of Karma Yoga is, let me put my desires on the side and let me address my duties. Addressing one's own swadharma, one's own dharma becomes a priority, and taking a back seat from one's own desires is the third point of Karma Yoga. Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Arjuna, these desires will go on. You will weave a complex web of karmic debt. Best you tend to your own duties and stay focused on the path of dharma. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jyaye hya karmanaha sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhyet akarmani. This is the third point of Karma Yoga, that Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam. May you, Arjuna, do your Nitya Karma, Naimittika Karma. Abide in Dharma. Abide in your duties. These simple 3 points, if you keep in mind, these are the overall teachings in a very simple language of the third chapter of Bhagavat, third, fourth, fifth chapters of Bhagavad Gita is Karma Yoga. And then fourth and fifth elaborate upon what is knowledge. So now when we engage in Karma Yoga, what is the benefit? The benefit is our mind becomes peaceful. Our mind becomes calm. Otherwise, we will be chattering on the inside. There is continuously some prattle, some noise, some disturbance on the inside. Karma Yoga allows us to integrate our antakarana. The blue stuff is called antakarana. Mana, buddhi, the flip side of intellect called chitta, memory, and ahankar, PFT, the perceiver, the feeler, the thinker. This is called antakarana. Karma Yoga delivers antakarana shuddhi. When antakarana shuddhi arrives, what happens? Bhagavan says you will be able to meditate. So the next chapter is Dhyana Yoga, the chapter on meditation. But meditation can only happen provided we are meditation worthy. If we are prepared for meditation. If we are not prepared for meditation, it will be the longest 20 minutes if you sit for 20 minutes. Or even 5 minutes. It will seem like eternity. You will keep on looking at the watch. Oh my God, it has only been 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Because the mind is agitated. But a silent mind can sit in meditation. So now Bhagavan is making a shift towards the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. And the middle 6 chapters deal with, the first 6 chapters dealt primarily with the Jiva. Now, Ishvara. The Jiva meditates upon Ishvara to figure out who is Ishvara, who am I? That can only be resolved in meditation. It cannot be resolved by reading books. Reading books, we will gather information. But the information has to be processed. And meditation is a process through which we sort out what we have learned. And we dive into the experiment of who I am. Ramana Maharshi Ji engaged in this experiment when he was just 16 years old. He wanted to find out what happens when one dies, because he opened the window and he saw a dead body going. So he mimicked being dead. But it was dead to the thoughts. He realized the chattering of the mind stopped, but I continue to witness the silent mind. This is the knowledge which Ramana Maharshi Ji, it was revealed to him that I am greater than this mind. I am witnessing a quiet mind. So I am not the mind. I am the silence which surpasses the mind. He was only 16 years old. Now we are entering the kingdom of meditation. In this 6th chapter, this is introduction. Bhagavan says over here, bahyanscha sparshan bahihi krutva. Bhagavan says, Arjuna, when you come in contact with sense objects on the outside, this watch is outside. Your own son and daughter, spouse, they are also outside. Our parents, our neighbors, basically anything that we touch, feel, smell, interact with, it is called outside. So bahihi, on the outside, bahyan, sparshan krutva, having sparsha meaning having contact with it, you keep it outside. Having contacted the outside world of objects, leave them where you found it. Don't bring them into your mind. That is what Bhagavan is saying. What we do is, this is a watch. But when my mind touches my watch, it comes back in and says, my watch. Nowhere on this watch, my name is written, but my mind adds that label. You know, in olden days in India, our vessels, they used to write names, you know, and even for wedding or anniversary, they would write that it is for somebody's wedding, here's the gift. So every time we use that vessel, we will read that. There's a label on that vessel. It is a simple karandi, but the karandi has the label on it. So Bhagavan is saying, don't put that label. That is what he's saying. Leave the outside objects where they are. Putting label meaning adding my name to it. It is mine. A sense of ownership. So Bhagavan says, sparshan krutva bahihi bahyan. Leave them outside. Chakshushchaivantarai bruvoho. And between the two eyes, bruvoho madhye, between the two eyebrows, between the two eyes, focus on that area. Take a deep breath in, exhale, inhale, exhale, and be in union with the energy of the pranas, rather than with the energy of the objective world. Let the ego be with the energy of pranas and not with the ownership of objects. So sparshan krutva bahihi bahyan chakshushchaivantare bhruvoho prana pano samo krutva. Slowly inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Now that the mind, which is not disturbed by the objective reality on the outside, nor is it disturbed by the thoughts, that silent mind is just penduluming between the inhaling and the exhaling, the inhaling and the exhaling, and retaining its presence in that moment. Nasa bhyantara charino, as though on the tip of the nose, the eye is looking, not literally, otherwise your eyes will hurt. But what Bhagavan is saying, as though eyes withdrawn, mind withdrawn. So eyes are symbolic representation of the 5 organs of perception. So organs of perception are withdrawn, and the Lord of the 5 organs of perception, meaning mind, that is also withdrawn, and the person is becoming silent. This is the gateway into meditation. Bhagavan is making a connection from 5th chapter to the 6th chapter. How did he make that? He gave us a description of a man of wisdom, and he calls that man of wisdom a yogi. And such a yogi, Bhagavan says, Kama Krodha Vyuktanam Yatinam Yatachetasam. The one who has conquered the mind has given up desires. Now what will he do? Now is the entry of meditation. Such a yati only qualifies for meditation. So this is how Bhagavan is connecting chapter 5 with 6 now. Continuing chapter, shloka number 28. Yatendriyamano buddhihi munirmokshaparayanah vigate chabhaya krodha yasada mukta eva saha. So Bhagavan says, Yatendriya mano buddhihi. Yata meaning conquered. Indriya. Earlier Bhagavan had only said as though the eye is gazing on the tip of the nose. Now he's seeing all senses withdrawn. Manaha buddhi, along with the mind and the intellect. Munihi, the yogi who is now going to be meditating, and that Muni, Manana Shilavan, the one who is contemplative. That is a definition of Muni, Manana Shilavan, the one who is contemplative. Such a Muni, Moksha Parayanaha. Such a person having moksha, moksha meaning absolute freedom, is called moksha in our Vedic language. Absolute freedom, freedom from future births, freedom from the world of objective reality, freedom from the persecutions of thoughts and emotions and feelings. This is called moksha. Please don't think that you will fly and Garud Bhagavan will take you beyond the 7th heaven. And over there, Jaya and Vijay will welcome you into Vaikuntha. These are just stories for us to yoke onto Narayana. But actual Narayana means Narasya Ayanamiti Narayana, the one who finds abode in Nara, in human being. So meditation is finding the Narayana within. Very easy to worship the Chaturbhuj Narayana with Shankha Chakra Gada Padma on the outside, but the actual Narayana within. That is called Munihi Moksha Parayanaha. Param Ayanaha Moksha Eva. That Narayana itself is a Param Moksha within. Now the person wants nothing but the inside Narayana. That our Tapovanji Maharaj, when he wrote letters, not just Tapovanji Maharaj, even Gurudev, when he wrote letters, how we say Hari Om and then dear so and so. Tapovanji Maharaj used to write Priya Atma. And then, we will sign the name. We will sign sincerely yours and then name Swami Shivatmananda. He never signed his name. He said the signature was in Narayana Smriti. That's it. The identity of a person is in a search of Bhagavan. So who am I? I am the one whose smriti, whose memory is delivered to Narayana. That's all. In Narayana Smriti. Very beautiful. There's the relinquishing of ego, relinquishing of identity. That is what it is. So Muni Moksha Parayanaha, that Muni wants to dissolve identity. Dissolve identity into what? Into Narayana. 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 And it's not just continuously verbally saying Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. The mind feels it. You may continue to engage in loving conversations with family members, knowing very well my abode is Narayana. My abode is Narayana. So yatendriya manobuddhihi munir moksha parayanaha vigatecha bhayakrodaha. Vigata, devoid of, given up. Vigata ichha. Ichha, desire. Vigata ichha bhaya. Bhaya, fear. Krodha, anger. If we have given up our own identity at the feet of Narayana, and if desire is what is relinquished with the identity, where is fear and where is anger? We only need to work on dissolving our desires, bas, nothing else. And for that, we have to be very alert. The food that the tongue demands, the clothes that the skin demands, the kinship that the mind demands, the inquisitiveness that the intellect demands. We have to be aware. What are my weaknesses? So for a Muni who has given this all up, it is said over here, Vigate cha bhayakrodaha yasada mukta evasaha. Such a person is ever liberated. So for that person who is ever liberated, they need not even enter meditation. Life becomes meditation, which is not a verb, but a noun. Shloka number 27 is a definition of meditation as a verb. Shloka 28 is a definition of meditation as a noun. Big difference. Bhagavan is showing both. We start out meditation as a verb, a quiet place, sitting down, being silent. But the fruit of doing everything is giving up everything and gaining identity, which is noun. So the verb leads us to being yasada mukta evasaha. He's liberated. He doesn't have to do anything. What beautifully Bhagavan has given introduction to 6th chapter and 5th chapter. By seeing meditation is a verb, then meditation as a noun. And when meditation becomes a noun, verb becomes a noun, there's no compulsion of a verb and action. You see how beautifully Bhagavan has captured it. This is the introduction to 6th chapter. How beautifully Bhagavan in 2 shlokas goes from meditation as a verb to meditation as a noun. Very, very powerful. Very beautiful. then those people whose minds are steady, calm, and reached and delivered to Brahman. What is that? Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhrudam sarva bhutanam gnatva mam shanti mruchati. The fruit of meditation is given right over here. When the verb becomes a noun, a nara becomes a rishi. What is that rishi? That is explained over here. Dhyana Gamya Rishi. The rishi who is gone beyond meditation, Bhagavan says, Gnatva, having known me in meditation and retaining me, my identity, which has now transformed this person, Nara, into Narayana. When Nara sits for meditation and gets up and becomes Narayana, this is what is said over here. Bhagavan says, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. He becomes the enjoyer of all sacrifices, all austerities that all people go through. He enjoys the fruit of it. Others are stuck in austerities, but not a Muni. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He actually becomes not the one who is seated on Kailash. Sitting in San Antonio, he becomes Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, the Lord of the whole universe. Sarvalok, all worlds. All 14 lokas, Ananta Koti Brahmand. Shankaracharya ji says, Ananta Koti Brahmandeshu Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He becomes the Lord of the multitudes of universe. Suhrudam. He becomes the best friend of whose? Sarva Bhutana, of all beings. And Shanti Mruchati, such a person attains peace. Absolute joy, absolute peace. When we look at the, biographies of saints and sages, they dwell in this perennial joy. Whether it is Sri Ramakrishna Paramhamsa, Sri Aurobindo, Raman Maharshi ji, Tapovanji Maharaj, Chinmayananda, any one of them, our Guruji, just a moment in their presence is enough for us to feel the eternity. Because they become the abode of peace. I know so many people who go to Mumbai, they do darshan of Pujya Guruji, and they'll just sit. Guruji is like, kuch questions hai? You have any question? No. Why did you come? Bas. He also understands. Radiating peace. And only the one who possesses it can give it. Like for us, we want to build an ashram and in need of fundraising and money. Who am I going to ask? Only the ones who have money, isn't it? And the one who has no money, how is that person? Even the intention for that person is to help me, but how will they help me if they themselves don't possess it? In the same way, we talk about mujhe shanti chahiye, shanti chahiye. I want peace. Where can we go to get peace? We cannot go to HEB to purchase 20 pounds of peace. There's no such thing. But when we go to these Mahatmas, Shri Raman Maharshi ji, silently 18 hours a day, he would sit, do nothing in Tiruvannamalai. People flocked from all corners of the world. Even today, 75 years after his Mahasamadhi, his Samadhi hall is filled with people. Why? He radiates peace even today. Even today, if you go to Ramana Ashram, it's an abode of peace. Just on the street, you will hear a cacophony of noise of all the vehicles going by. But there will be peace. It's inexplicable joy and peace. Even Virupaksha cave, just climb up the Arunachala and go to the cave where he meditated and realized. Just inexplicable peace. That is what Bhagavan is saying. Jnatva mam shanti mruchati. Bhagavan says, I have to be known. I have to be known. The word over here is jnatva. Very important. Only in knowledge, Ishvara can be realized. Ishvara is not an experience. Please don't think Ishvara is an experience in meditation. Bhagavan defined meditation as a verb, but he ended it as a noun. If it is a verb, that means the action starts and the action stops. That means there is an arrival of Krishna, then there is a departure of Krishna. What kind of realization is that? That cannot be a realization. Realization is knowing. Jnatva. And then Bhagavan jumps into the next chapter. So we may do gymnastics to meditate, but understand we have to give up all gymnastics at the end. Krishna can only be captured in knowledge. Vatasya patrasya pute shayanam balam mukundam manasa smarami. The smaranam has to become jnanam. As long as the mind is there, we will create a habit of remembering Mukunda. But the intellect has to interject and say, give that up. Come into the flight with me. Let us know Mukunda. Once we know Mukunda, we are Mukunda. This is the end of 5th chapter. Bhagavan in 3 shlokas gives introduction to the chapter on meditation. We will start next week. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti, shanti, shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.